BYU football coach, our great friend Kalani Sitake. Hey, look at that great smile. We appreciate your time. Craig Smoke, David Smoke with you today. Kalani, we want to get, of course, into your bowl game and what's going on with your program and more, and congratulations on a heck of a run. I know it didn't end quite the way you wanted, but do you think that there are enough smart people, with all the people involved in the investment in college athletics, that we can get this timeline of when you can go or not if you're practicing, and can somebody transfer? Can they wait until after a game? Is this ever going to be, like, put together where it makes sense for everybody?
Yeah, I think people will figure it out. You know, it's the same thing with the playoff. I think once something happens and you kind of see it. I mean, I don't think anything's supposed to be 100% thought through. And so when you're looking at it, I know one thing: the NCAA and the way we have it with college football is willing to change. So if it wasn't ideal for coaches and for players and for the student athletes, I think the goal is to be centered around the student athletes first. If we can make it better for the student athletes, and then also for the programs, because those are the ones that are running the student athletes, and then I think we'll be okay. But I mean, I know that this isn't ideal for some people, but all I know is you tell me the rules and I abide by them and try to make them work for what we're trying to do as a program. So I know that everybody has opinions right now, but it's different because I think I caught the end of it when you guys are talking about the scheduling, and when some people are at quarters, some people are at semesters. When you're talking about academics and things like that, it makes it really, really tough. So, and I know the academic year has got to be pointed. I mean, when this all is said, when we're all talking about it, what's getting lost in the whole mix is that aren't these kids supposed to get their degrees? That's what we got to be focused on, right? So, whatever we can do to get them back, focusing on completing their degree and getting their whatever their degrees they want to be in. That's so they can, because football is going to end. It's the inevitable truth that football will end for all these young men at some point, and it's usually not when they want it to. So we've got to have a plan for them after that.
Coach, looking back on it, when you saw your team voted 13th in the preseason poll, how hard did you and your coaches laugh behind the scenes, knowing that you had a much better team than probably people were anticipating?
Well, I think it's really hard to do. I mean, nothing personal. I think we kind of knew we had something better than that, but how are you supposed to know when you don't know what the other teams are doing? And so I don't fault anybody. I think when I mentioned it in the media day in the summer that I get it. There's a lot of parity in this league too, and so I mean, not a lot of people thought. If you look at it where ASU is at, that we would be sitting in this position with ASU being. I mean, they were last, and then they ended up being the champion. So it just shows you how tough the league is, and you just have to be ready to play. I mean, nothing's easy here. I think a lot of people thought they saw it working a certain way, and the one thing I've seen in the 2 years that I've been in this conference is that whatever you think isn't going to, so that gives everybody a shot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that as a follow-up, and you're right. We've seen it with TCU in 22, Baylor in 21, and you had a chance to play them that year. What you guys did, or ASU this year, or Colorado this year. Why is that? Is it because there's just so many different teams, maybe not enough of the highest level, although Arizona State's trying to maybe put themselves in that position? Why is it that we don't know from year to year?
Well, I think one thing is you have to give a lot of credit to the coaches that are in this conference. There's some really, really amazing coaches that know how to run a program and know how to get their teams ready to play. And then when you look at the brand of the teams, the toughness, the physical part of the game, it's in the fan base, and it's in the team. So it's not one of those things that you can actually predict. And so I like it that way. Gives everybody a chance. So we're just hoping that we can keep improving our chances for next year, and a big part of that is being ready for this bowl game.
I was just curious, do you happen to know Scott Frost or Rich Rodriguez at all, the two new additions to the head coaching ranks in this league?
Yeah, I know both of them. Been able to interact with both of them. Really good men, and I think it's just when you look at it, just things don't get easier when you get all these wonderful coaches that are coming in that know how to recruit, know how to develop their players. It's just going to add more to the intrigue of the conference. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Kalani, there's been times when, for example, people asked you about when ASU stormed the field or about this and that. You always seem to have an answer that I'm not sure everybody could feel the same way you do. That it's not like any kind of conspiracy or it's not like unfair. That doesn't mean you can't be frustrated with a call or two. Is that something that's always just been in your DNA?
Well, I think first of all, what's in my DNA is I'm a fan first. I think I've been a fan before I was a football player at the college level and a fan before I was a head coach. And so the fan is always still in me. And so I can understand. I try to understand where fans are coming from, even the fans that give me a hard time. I get it. They're excited about the team. And so I don't take anything personal. I think it's more about them and their excitement, their energy. And so you can't get really frustrated when there's a lot of excitement going around the game of football. And sometimes it works out in our favor, sometimes it doesn't. But more than anything, I just look at the opportunity that we had to, be a part of this game. I think for me, I just have so much gratitude and appreciation. I mean, it sucks to lose, but even in the defeats, I can take a lot of happiness in just the appreciation that I get to do what I do and that I get to be around these young men that I get to coach and amazing fans that are on our team with Cougar Nation, and then the interaction that I have from fans from other teams. I mean, it's been nothing but positive, but I have to see it from their point of view, and when I can see it as being a fan first, can't have anything but excitement for and happiness for them.
So you guys were very much involved all the way up until the end in terms of competing for the Big 12 championship, and the tiebreakers just didn't work out your way. I was just curious because we've heard, coaches kind of talk about different things, ins and outs, things they like to change. Chris Kleiman talking about the scheduling, and he was talking more about the Big 12 kind of promoting itself and bettering itself in terms of the college football playoff. I'm curious to your thoughts on that in general, but also when it comes to the scheduling, do you have any qualms or any ideas, anything that you would like to change, or do you think it's fine the way that the league already has it sort of set up?
Well, I'll do whatever everyone says. I mean, that's what I do. But I kind of, as a fan in me, I'm really liking the basketball conference versus conference thing. Like the Big 12 versus the Big East in basketball.
Oh yeah.
The ACC versus the SEC. Like that would be kind of fun for the Big 12 to schedule in the non-conference games to schedule some of the other whatever conference it is, just match them up and see how that works. I mean that'd be a lot of excitement, especially at the preseason before you get to the bowl games. Then you kind of settle it on the field when everybody's saying, well, this conference is tougher than that conference. Like, why don't we play ball and let's figure that out, And we won't figure that out in the bowl game that we're playing against. We're going against Colorado, yeah, who's a conference member. So, it kind of works against us in the when you're trying to brag about your conference. But I would love to participate. I'd love to play the other conferences. I think I have a lot of pride in our conference. I mean, I say this over and over again. You don't even want to see my March Madness bracket because it's all Big 12 teams in the Final Four. So that's just how it. I know we're a new member, but I got a lot of pride and excitement for our conference. So that's how it's going to look. I'm pretty sure it's going to look that way this year too.
I think a lot of people, when the Pac-12, or what it now is too, and eventually will grow again, had the little addendum about bowl games. I wondered how that might work out with Colorado and Arizona State, Utah, whoever, and you end up getting them, which is a great football game. I mean, really fun game. When you first heard that, what was your reaction, and when did you kind of have an inkling, had been given a heads up that could happen?
Yeah, I was hoping for it, and mostly because I have so much respect for Colorado, for their fans, but especially for their coaches, for Dion, and for the look at the talent that they have on their team. I mean, I'm looking for our players to be excited and to. I mean, you're going to be going against the Heisman Trophy winner, and you're going to be, but some of the best players in college football. And if I'm looking for an opportunity for us to be excited to go into the game, this is it right here. And I'm hoping that this can really be a preview of what we can accomplish, what things that we can do as a team for the 2025 season. So just tons of energy around it. And, I'm excited for the game. I know I want to see us against other conferences, but with this opponent and with the talent that we're seeing from Colorado, we see it on film like crazy. So This is going to be a great challenge for us. I'm looking for the challenge for us to up our game and make our team better. Also, to just spend that time with the seniors that are outgoing, getting ready for the next level, and then really improve the development that we have on our team, get them excited for 2025.
Travis Hunter wins the Heisman. Obviously, there were other great players, as Ashton Genty and the others who were involved. Your thoughts about, and you mentioned, Deion has made it clear they're staying. They're going to play in this game. You guys have pretty much, I think, your full throttle who will play in this game. I wish it was like that. I'm sure everybody does. But at the same time, being able to, like you said, those weapons they have. And by the way, their defense, as you know, started playing great in the last half of the year.
Yeah, well-coached team. And you look at what they're doing. I mean, when we look at the way the conference ended, there are the tiebreakers that happened. But, we were the guys that were from the outside looking in. Now we get to play each other. We didn't get to play them this year, and now we get to go against them. And like I said, I'm looking forward to us upping our game and maybe enhancing our level of play because we know what we're seeing on film, and that stuff's going to show up on that game. And man, tons of respect for them. We're looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. I like their fan base, and I know our fan base. It'll show up. I think a lot of eyes will be in this game, and it's an honor for us to be part of it.
I've heard Deion talk about you, too. He's mentioned things about Joey McGuire among some other coaches. What are some of the interactions that you've ever had before he took over at Colorado?
Well, just I mean, obviously, who didn't love Deion when he was a player? So I think I was always impressed with him as a player. Just how the game of football seemed easy to him, and that he could play baseball. He could do everything: offense, defense. He could return the ball. I mean, he's such a dynamic player. And then when you see him as a coach, the personality that he has. I've just been really impressed with his connection to his players. The fact that he loves his faith and talks about it often. I think we're very similar that way. I can appreciate that about him. And more than anything, just I like the way he leads his team. And when you look at everybody, all the coaches I said this before, there's some really great coaches. I think all the coaches in this conference are amazing coaches. I just like them as people too. I mean, when we get all the coaches together, it's just kind of hard because you like them all and you like they lead their teams. And then you're just like, man, it just makes it easier when you don't like somebody. But we happen to like everyone, and the interaction that we have with each other it's really special. And I think a lot of that goes to the leadership that we see from the teams in this conference, but also Brett Yormark and what he does with his leadership of the Big 12 and the interaction that we have together. It's pretty cool, man. And Deion's got a great personality, but he's also very kind and very gracious with his time with everybody and has great insight. So I mean, I love being around all these coaches in the Big 12 meetings. I sit there and I take a lot of notes. I'm just like really impressed with the way that they speak about their teams and the way that the insight that they have that I think could really help our conference become even better and help our brand.
Coach, we talked about the rankings at the beginning. Nobody really knows in a conference like this, especially what to expect. But I remember talking to you there during the summertime, and I remember there's still quarterback competition ongoing, and Jake Retzloff obviously goes and wins that and has this massive year to where you're excited about the now, but also the moving forward as well. Just what's that journey been like alongside him, watching him and watching him grow and really take over that position?
Yeah, Jake's done an amazing job, and I've been really happy with the progress that he's made, also from last year to now. So he just keeps getting better and better the more time he spends in our offense. And so really looking forward to the time that he could taking advantage of the time that he has now in the bowl prep and the connection that he has to his teammates. He's done a great job. His leadership extends to all three phases, not just offense. And I love the way our seniors are really spending so much time in teaching the younger guys, and Jake's doing that in the quarterback room. I see our quarterback plays improved quite a bit because of the leadership that we're seeing from our seniors and specifically from Jake. Now I get to have him back for another year, which is nice. But it's really good that we have a really cool system and that we were able to take advantage of the bowl practices. We didn't have this last year, and we really missed it. Just the opportunity we had to keep playing football and being around each other. And we've taken every advantage of it now, and really looking forward to the festivities, the excitement around the bowl game, and also playing this game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Can you try to explain why, other than just repetitions, or maybe the underclassmen being able to also practice during these up until your game next week, how critical, and think about the teams that are there year after year after year after year that get these extra 13 or 12 or 15 practices.
Well, it's just another spring ball. When you look at spring ball, everyone's trying to get ready for fall camp and trying to get some competition going on. But when you have that opportunity to do that at the end of the year, those are valuable practices. And so the race to get this bowl eligibility is real. And for us, that's part of our program. If we're trying to develop players, we have young guys that need to get better in these short amount of practices, a dozen to 15, however many you can fit in there. It's also the development process where we need to get them. Some guys need to get bigger and stronger, and that can happen in the holiday season. And but it's a lot easier to do it when you're actually playing the game of football. When your season's over and you're not bowl eligible, you can't put the football out there anymore. You can't get out there and coach the kids. So that makes it really difficult. And then you have to put all of that time and energy in spring ball, and you really couldn't focus on the little details, the fundamentals of the game. And that's what we're able to do. We're able to make sure they go through this with a fine-tooth comb and just make sure none of our guys are missing out on the development. And then when everybody's doing portal recruiting, the development is going to be a big part of our program and how we get these guys progressing.
We won't hear from you again for a while, but hopefully soon after the first of the year. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year, all that. Good luck against Colorado. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you as much as we have in these last 2 or 3 years. Kalani, thanks for your access.
I've always enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You too. Kalani Sitake, BYU football coach, with us. Just enjoy the access we've had thanks to those who give us that opportunity, Kenny Cox and Brett Pine.